Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough! So, Auron is under Hades' control, and we need to go and get that doll back, and basically give Hades what for, because there ain't no way we're gonna let him get away with this, at all, ever. No way in hell. Quite literally, I mean, there is no way in hell, because we're in hell. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop now whilst I'm ahead. Yeah, I am terrible at puns. To be perfectly honest, I'm terrible at comedy. Kinda makes you wonder why the hell I even attempt to make any form of joke, because they're generally always rubbish. Also makes you question why I was just like, yeah, I want to write a pantomime, yeah, it's a great idea, considering I don't do comedy, yeah, brilliant. But in all seriousness, I think I do really like the end of Olympus Coliseum here. I think it does a very good job at providing what we want from it, basically. And I think, actually, that this Olympus Coliseum may be the only world that has two Disney bosses in it. And by that I mean, like, the first visit is a Disney boss and the second visit is a Disney boss. Because obviously the first time we were here we had the Hydra, and if you hadn't guessed yet, we're getting ready to take down Hades. So it's like, I'm pretty sure that this is the only world that does that, because it's certainly not the case in Land of Dragons, it's certainly not the case in Port Royal or Beast's Castle, and it's also not the case in Halloween Town or in Pride Lands. And it's also not the case in Space Paranoid, so yes, this is the only world where we have both visits centering around the Disney, and I love it for it. Particularly also because this does a scene from the original Hercules film, which I do adore. I mean, it's obviously a much lesser representation of said scene, because in the film it's a beautiful, very touching moment, and here it's kind of a bit, oh, they're behind the door, no, not, but you'll understand what I'm getting at when we actually get there. I like how I'm kind of bringing this up when we're only 3 minutes in, and like that seems like at least 10-ish minutes away. We've got quite a ways to go. Also, I hope I make sure to kind of have enough potions on me, because kind of a necessity. Oh good, I did buy a ridiculous amount. Because I think we're actually not able to get high potions until, I think it may be our next trip to Hollow Bastion, actually. Maybe a little earlier than that. But yeah, the high potions don't turn up in the Moogle shops for a very, very long time. It's kind of ridiculous because they are so useful. And I'd be wasting all my money on it if I could.
Now that is entertainment.
Now, something that's slightly off, I guess, about the whole thing with Hercules here is that obviously in the first game Hercules had his godhood and all of his powers, and he was awesome and amazing. And here he doesn't have them anymore, although, having said that, he does still have them. It's just that it's way, way, way more temporary, and he kind of loses it very easily. It's a bit weird, because obviously in the film he doesn't gain his godhood until at the end of the film, and then you have the wonderful "A Star Is Born." Yeah, that was my attempt to go a little bit gospel, and it failed miserably. But you have A Star Is Born at the end, and that's a phenomenal song. I love it to pieces. But it doesn't happen until the end of the film, and because they're going with the plot of the film very, very loosely here, you'd think, yeah, they're gonna, you know, keep it in line, but because of what they did in the first game, they've kind of had to shift it even more than they probably would have done otherwise, so it ends up being a little bit messy in Hercules and his godhood issue. It's weird.
It is not too late. Let us turn back. But where is the sense in all this? There must be another way. Your deaths will mean nothing. You must live.
I get it. This is what belongs in Orin's heart.
Gosh, he must have had a pretty rough life.
Indeed, I mean, if you've seen Blum in Final Fantasy X, stuff that happened to him there, Jesus Christ, on a bike! Like, Orin really had it rough.
Where did they come from?
And now we had a rather touching moment, which I also ruined, but it's rudely interrupted by bloody dusks. Because they just decided, yeah, this is a great time. I mean, I have to say, I'm very glad that, you know, Hades is preoccupied, because you would have thought, oh dear, it's slightly terrifying. If he knew we were here, he'd probably try and attack us, but yeah, he's way too busy watching Hercules get defeated. Also, there were so many better forms I could have chosen other than the Wisdom form to, you know, end this, or do this fight, even. Because basically the way that Wisdom form levels up is by number of enemies killed. Which means that with enemies that have quite big health bars, it's a bit useless. So I mean, I think pretty much the optimum location for using Wisdom form and leveling it up is actually Timeless River, because the enemies there have, I think, sufficiently small health bars for Wisdom form to be able to take things out very, very quickly. And because you can just kind of keep going into them, you can just keep battling Heartless. And also you can get sort of the unlimited drive gauge sort of glitch. It's kind of a little glitch. But basically, if you leave an area and go into an area where your partners are walking about, then basically you revert to your normal clothes and basically keep a full drive gauge. Which is obviously a very, very, very helpful thing if you want to kind of keep that up. And it's a really wonderful thing that you should definitely manipulate when you have the chance. Particularly when it comes to getting the mysterious, super secret final form that I am kind of skirting around every now and again. Because it's basically that, manipulating that, having people walking about area is going to be your best option for unlocking it. And you will see me do that when we get to the point where we are possibly able to unlock it. So, we've got all the treasures in Olympus Coliseum. All that's left is to talk to, I believe this one's Pain and the other one's Panic. It's time to head to the Coliseum and help Herc out. And basically, head to the run-up and finish Olympus Coliseum for good. It's going to be beautiful.
Now, finish him!
Orin! No!
Hi, Owen. This belongs to you.
Sora. Donald. Goofy.
Why those little Prisoner, what happened to our mutual agreement? I can give you a clean slate, but you gotta work with me.
Maybe you didn't hear me. This is my story, and you're not part of it.
That's it! This game is over. I've played by the rules so far. Okay, I confess. I was hoping Wonder Boy would lose, but it was still a fair fight. Come on. Is that really so wrong? Huh?
Really, a fair fight.
Laugh, laugh, laugh all you want. Because the laughing is about to stop. You want to know why? Because now we're going to play by my rules.
Meg!
Hercules!
Hey, I warned you right at the get-go. You don't compete, you lose the girl.
No! Meg! Hang on!
Looks like Wonder Boy has dropped out of the standing.
Well, you've still got us to deal with.
Oh, yeah. This is gonna be good.
And so we begin our fight against Hades, and as I said, I love that moment where Hercules goes after Meg in the film. It's just wonderful. And it is kind of just that amazing sort of emotional climax that you just want from a film. And while it's ever so slightly disappointing here because it does just get shut off behind the door, I think it's a reasonable compromise of ending a cutscene that could have potentially gotten incredibly overly long and throwing you straight into the boss fight, which is great. I mean, there is the slight thing of this first part of the boss fight is not going to take very long, but
That's it.
it's still pretty awesome. And the reason I say it's not going to take very long is because Hades is invulnerable in a minute and you just need a couple of hits, and then cutscenes happen.
We can't win.
How come?
Because it's his underworld.
Gee, then how do we beat him?
I think a true hero should be able to help.
But you...
I owe you one, Hades. I didn't hesitate to give my life for Meg's, and then I remembered. A true hero is measured by the strength of his heart. I'll never forget that again.
Just no more crazy stunts.
People always do crazy things when they're in love.
What is so funny, you imbeciles? How dare you get a happy ending? How dare you?
I love that line so much. Not, I don't mean the how dare you get a happy ending, how dare you. I mean, I love that line as well. But the people do crazy things when they're in love. 'Cause, I mean, just that line in the film. Oh my god. And I love that they use it here as well. It's great. Now, basically, Hades. The way that you're going to be able to actually hurt him is by making use of the aura spheres that Hercules is going to create. And after you have kind of flung them at him, then he will kind of be back to normal Hades, and then you can damage him. It's great. I mean, to be honest, this is a really fun, if quite challenging boss fight, so I'm all for it. It's just so much fun, and the fact that Hercules is here helping us out as well, it's just really awesome. Yeah, I think... Although this is... They did ever so slightly make the whole rescuing Meg thing a little bit lesser than it was in the film. I think... This is one of the ones where the compromise is reasonable, I feel. Because... Like, Pride Lands, that was just no. They tried to replicate it and just failed miserably, and here they managed to replicate it but shifted enough so that even though they lost the emotional impact, it didn't seem just through laziness, I guess. It was more sort of it was done for gameplay reasons and for just necessity of what they'd done in the previous game. So it kind of changed things a little bit. Now, one thing that you may be very, 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 very surprised to hear is that I'm going to attempt to finish this battle in wisdom form. It's not the best of ideas, I know, because, you know, you have to leave it until Hades would be very, very, very low on health for it to stand any chance of succeeding. But I think I've not used wisdom form enough as a cutscene closer at this point in the game, and I feel it, even though I don't like it that much, I feel it deserves some... It deserves some kind of show. So that this is my way of giving it a little bit of prominence for a little moment, because it's not going to happen very often, and yeah, it's just a pain to do otherwise. Maybe not. I do love the blue. Well, I mean, to be honest, I love blue in general. It's one of my favourite. Well, it is my favourite colour. And I think basically what I'm waiting for now is just to hit Hades with an Aura Sphere and then drive away. And then I think basically going into Wisdom form when I did helped a bundle, because basically I managed to get Hades in a loop and we finished it in Wisdom form. So Olympus Coliseum is complete, and we get what is probably one of my favourite ends to a world in the game. It's wonderful, because it brings the entirety of what we've done in Olympus Coliseum over the past two games to a brilliant conclusion, and I love it dearly. It's great.
What's it gonna do now?
I lived my life defending others, but now there's no one left to protect. Maybe it's time I shaped my own story.
Yeah, you deserve it, Orin. After everything you've been through.
I suppose I should thank you.
Not at all.
Fine.
I mean, sure, you could thank us a little.
You should say what you mean. I guess I could spare a few words. Thanks for meddling.
Hey, what's that mean?
Thanks again, guys. You're the best.
Excuse us for meddling.
Oh, sounds like somebody's feathers are a little ruffled. I'm kidding. Thank you, Sora, Donald, Goofy.
So where are you guys headed next?
You know. You two lovebirds seem to be getting along just fine without us hanging around.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Uh-huh. Before we start meddling. Yep.
Right.
Are you turkeys trying to put me out of a job? If you keep acing every challenge, champ, who am I gonna train?
Aw, you can't abandon me now, Phil. I gotta be at the top of my game in case Hades shows up again.
Hey, are we true heroes yet?
Yeah. Come on, Phil. How about it?
Let me see now. Well, you're not wise enough. Not quite seasoned enough.
Okay, we get the hint.
Look, kid, it's not my call.
Phooey.
'Cause if it was, you'd have no problem. I'd make you all heroes in a heartbeat.
Really?
Say it again.
On second thought, if those are your hero faces, you still got a lot of work to do.
What do you mean?
Go away.
Phil!
Leave me alone.
See that?
Well, what do you know?